During the summer of 1802, Europe was at peace for the first time in 13 years. The Treaty of Amiens had ended what would later be seen as the opening round of the Napoleonic Wars. The peace, however, was to be short-lived. By the spring of 1803, England once again declared war on France and resumed her blockade of the French coast. In response, Napoleon assembled an invasion army on the Channel coast at Boulogne. The camp at Boulogne provided France the opportunity to train her citizen army en masse. Before Boulogne, French troops were trained on the march or in regimental depots and then inserted into units in the field. Under this system, troops received individual training in drill and company-level tactics. At the Camp of Boulogne, soldiers were given intense refresher training in drill and company tactics, but more importantly, they also took part in bi-weekly division-level exercises as well as corps-level exercises on Sunday. Corps exercises stressed combined army tactics, bringing for the first time infantry, cavalry, and artillery into the battlefield to learn to fight as a flexible but cohesive unit. It was this cohesion and flexibility that Napoleon was to use to his utmost advantage in the years ahead. While the Grand Armée trained for the invasion of England, the Russians and English were themselves hard at work rebuilding a coalition to keep Napoleon occupied on the continent. Tsar Alexander of Russia, perceiving Napoleon as a threat to Russian power in Europe, approached Britain and Austria in hope of reviving the anti-French coalition that had collapsed in 1801. At first, the Austrians, who had already lost substantial territory and prestige in earlier efforts against Napoleon, balked at the idea of renewing the war. But finally, bowing to Russian pressure, Austria signed a treaty with Russia on November 4, 1804. Alexander also approached King George of England and Gustavus III of Sweden, forming the Third Coalition. The Allies planned to take advantage of Napoleon's preoccupation with England and move against France while the bulk of its army was encamped on the Channel coast. The first phase called for 100,000 Austrians under Archduke Charles to make the main effort against France in northern Italy, while 70,000 Austrians, nominally under the command of Archduke Ferdinand and General Mack, advanced into Bavaria. This forced Bavaria to join the Allies while simultaneously moving into a position to threaten Napoleon's line of communications when he moved against the expected target, Archduke Charles. As these forces were moved into place, two Russian armies of 40,000 troops each under Marshal Kutuzov and General Buxhowden were to advance through Bohemia to reinforce Mack in Bavaria. This combined Austrian and Russian force would then push forward through the Black Forest and Swabia towards Strasbourg, trapping Napoleon's army in southern France. The Allied plan had many flaws, which Napoleon would exploit to the fullest. If you want to catch more videos on Napoleonic legends like this, be sure to quickly subscribe to our channel, like this video, and let us know in the comments what you want to see next. There are hundreds of similar videos in our history playlist.